What if I told you that the biggest security mistake companies make is trusting their employees too much? That the moment someone logs into your company network, they can potentially access everything: payroll systems, customer databases, confidential files, all of it. Sounds dangerous, right? Well, that's exactly how most companies still operate today. But there's a revolutionary approach changing everything called Zero Trust Network Access, and it's completely flipping traditional security on its head. For decades, companies used what's called the Castle-and-Moat security model. Imagine a medieval castle. There's a moat around it, guards at the gate, and once you're inside the castle walls, you can go anywhere. That's how traditional networks work. You connect to the VPN, virtual private network, prove you're an employee, and boom, you're inside the corporate network with access to almost everything. The company trusts you because you made it past the front gate. Everyone inside the castle is assumed to be trustworthy. Here's the massive problem with this approach. What if a hacker steals an employee's password? What if an employee's laptop gets infected with malware? What if someone inside the company has malicious intentions? Once they're inside that castle, they can move around freely, accessing systems they shouldn't touch, stealing data, and causing damage. And you won't even know until it's too late. This is called lateral movement, and it's how most major data breaches happen. The hacker gets one set of credentials, gets inside the network, then moves sideways, accessing everything else. Enter Zero Trust Network Access, or ZTNA. The name tells you everything. Zero trust means trust nobody, not even your own employees, at least not automatically. Zero trust. Network access is a security model that says never trust, always verify. Instead of trusting everyone inside your network, ZTNA verifies every single access request, every single time, regardless of where it comes from. In Zero Trust, access is granted on a need-to-know, need-to-access basis, and it's continuously verified. Here's how it works in simple terms. When you try to access any company resource, application, file, or system, ZTNA asks several questions. Who are you? You need to prove your identity with strong authentication, usually multi-factor authentication, or MFA. What device are you using? ZTNA checks if your device is secure, updated, running antivirus, and meets security standards. What are you trying to access? ZTNA verifies you have permission to access that specific resource. Where are you connecting from? Location matters. Accessing from a coffee shop Wi-Fi is riskier than from the office. Is your behavior normal? If you usually work in New York and suddenly you're trying to access files from another country, that's suspicious. Only after passing all these checks do you get access. And here's the key. You only get access to that one specific thing you requested, nothing else. If you need to access something different 5 minutes later, you go through verification again. Let me break down the core principles that make Zero Trust powerful. Least privilege access. Users get the minimum access necessary to do their job, nothing more. If you're in marketing, you don't need access to engineering code repositories. Verify. Every request, no assumptions. Every access request is verified as if it's coming from an untrusted network, even if you verified 5 minutes ago. Assume breach. Zero Trust operates on the assumption that threats are already inside your network, so it constantly monitors for suspicious activity. Microsegmentation. Instead of one big network where everyone can access everything, the network is divided into small segments. Each segment is isolated, so even if attackers get into one segment, they can't easily move to others. Continuous monitoring. ZTNA doesn't just verify once and forget. It continuously monitors user behavior, device health, and access patterns, looking for anything unusual. So, why is Zero Trust so powerful? Enhanced security. By never trusting by default, you dramatically reduce the risk of data breaches and lateral movement. Better visibility. You can see exactly who's accessing what, when, and from where. Complete audit trail. Improved compliance. Many regulations require strict access controls. Zero Trust makes compliance easier to demonstrate. Supports remote work. Zero Trust works perfectly for remote employees because it doesn't matter where you're connecting from. Security follows the user, not the network perimeter. Reduced attack surface. By limiting access to only what's needed, you minimize what attackers can reach if they do get in. Leading security companies like Cato Networks have integrated ZTNA into their SASE Secure Access Service Edge platforms. Cato's approach combines Zero Trust principles with cloud-based security, ensuring that whether employees are in the office, at home, or traveling, they get secure, granular access to only the resources they need. Here's the bottom line. If your company is still using traditional VPNs and Castle-and-Moat security, you're leaving yourself vulnerable. Zero trust is no longer optional, it's essential. Hit that like button if this cleared up zero trust for you, and subscribe to FSD-Tech for more cybersecurity and networking content.